Susan Swain, C-SPAN's co-CEO. We are marking 45 years this year. Why is this significant?
Well, media institutions have no guarantee, do they? We've seen a lot of them go under in the past decade or so. And I guess if C-SPAN is still around at 45, the good news of that is that we're providing a service that some people find valuable. And I think what we've tried to do over the last decades is to build an institution that people can trust, that they're going to see the whole story, and that we have the interest of showing the political process as it occurs without bias, without our own interpretation, and creating an archive where people can go back and find what public officials have had to say and decide for themselves what they think about it. That's what C-SPAN has been all about. And the fact that we're still around at age 45 means that people have understood the role it plays and the niche that it has in American media.
Let's go back to the beginning and remind our viewers how we started.
Well, March 19th, 1979, the gavel came down in the House of Representatives, and Tip O'Neill, Speaker of the House, gavelled in the first ever televised session of the House.
The hour to which the House arrived, adjourned. Having arrived, the House will be in order. Prayer will be offered by the Reverend Chaplain. General stands approved. Gentleman from Tennessee.
That's unanimous. Consent to address the House for 1 minute, Mr. Speaker.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, on this historic day, the House of Representatives opens its proceedings for the first time to televised coverage. I wish to congratulate you for your courage in making this possible, and the committee who has worked so hard under the leadership of Congressman Charles Rose to make this a reality. Television will change this institution, Mr. Speaker, just as it has changed the executive branch. But the good will far outweigh the bad.
For about 2 years beforehand, private entrepreneurs in the cable industry had been organizing for that day. They built the first satellite uplink in the whole Washington, D.C. area to transmit that first televised session of the House to the American public. 18 million American homes who had cable television or satellite TV could see that first session of Congress. And it started a revolution, really, of televised access to the political process. Lots of people are now offering ways for people to follow Washington, follow Congress, follow the White House. But in 1979, this was a real use of technology for the public good, and there had been nothing like it before.
This year, for the first time for our anniversary, we're celebrating it by calling it a Founders Day. Why is that? What does that mean?
Well, the reality of any media organization today, anyone watching this knows that their own media consumption habits have changed dramatically, and that the standard of 100 million homes having cable television wired in that they're paying a monthly subscription fee has changed enormously. Over the past 7-8 years, we've lost about 40% of the homes that carried cable and carried our signal to them. Along with that comes a loss of revenue. And so we've done everything we can to shore ourselves up in the face of change. But the reality is that there are lots of people who are accessing our content now who don't really help contribute to us producing it. And it's an expensive thing to do. So what we're doing is marking Founders Day and kicking off a campaign to ask the public for their help in continuing to support C-SPAN. We're still going to have our important base of cable and satellite companies who are carrying our signal. They pay 75 cents a year to carry C-SPAN in subscription fees, 6.25 cents a month. But we're asking people who are watching us on cable who would like to help the cause, or people who are using us online through YouTube or through social media, if they would like to help support C-SPAN so we can continue to offer gavel-to-gavel coverage of the Congress, our history program, our books programming, and all the educational materials we develop for the classroom, all of which is available for free without the support of the cable networks. So we really want now to ask people to help contribute it. Founders Day is an interesting concept. I think of the founders as being the entrepreneurs who started C-SPAN and created the private enterprise, of the Congress that said yes to televising its sessions, and 7 years later, the Senate also saying yes, of the reporters who covered us when we were an unknown quantity and they weren't quite sure what to make of it, but also importantly of the viewers who watched. Over the years, the viewer support of this network has been critical. They call into the call-in shows that you host. host. They also support us online by using our products. And in many cases, they've helped to get us on cable systems over the years when we were seeking to expand our coverage. Now we're calling on viewers to help us in a different way, with a little bit of support on Founders Day to help us with a contribution that will sustain C-SPAN into the future.
So with those business challenges and opportunities, what can our viewers expect of us in the future?
Well, our goal is the mothership is going to be C-SPAN, C-SPAN 2, C-SPAN 3, providing the linear service, but we want to be everywhere that people are consuming public affairs content. And that requires resources. You know, if we're going to be building apps, if we're going to have fast channels, if we're going to expand our social media presence, it takes people and it takes technical resources. We're going to be there, but we'll do it faster and better with the help of our viewers through Founders Day contribution. And that's what we're asking for today as we mark our 45th anniversary.
Susan Swain, thank you.
Thanks, Greta.